Listen to Career Paths by Implement every Thursday.
You might learn something.
You might not.
Available on Apple Podcasts,
On Spreaker,
Spotify,
on Google,
and iHeartRadio. It's your life. Make it happen.
Da-da-da-da. Anyway, what else do you know?
What's that?
What else do you know?
Pretty much everything at this point.
So did
What
we
I
go
don't
into
know-
phase? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I don't know, I fake it.
Yep. Make it till you make it. So did we go into phase 3 yet, or are we going back to phase 2? I mean,
No, we're not.
thank God, Jesus.
I thought for sure we were, but it came out earlier today. We did not. County south of us, or I guess south,
Okay.
did. We didn't, and I
Wow.
am in shock
I'm
because I was pretty much sure.
yeah, with Inslee and yeah, I know Coach Back likes him a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah, we can turn that down, I guess. Thank you.
every time, too. Sitting there adjusting. Man, I cannot get rid of that noise. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
Don't. All right.
Wow. It's so quiet.
Is it so quiet now? Yeah, it is. It's almost too quiet. I'm scared. And we'll talk shock, obviously. I know a little bit about shock. I don't.
All right, you're good.
I'm good. Are we up?
Yep.
We'll fake it as coach. Now, do you want me to call you coach or you want me to call you Brian? What do you care?
Don't matter.
You've been called worse by better.
I've been called everything, cussed at.
That's part of life, though, isn't
At
it?
this point, it's I just go with the flow.
There you go. Alrighty. Welcome to Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau. Behind the scenes, Mr. Ryan King. Say hello, Ryan.
Hello.
One of these days we'll get you back on so people can see your smiling face. Today our guest is Brian Schmidt.
Hello.
He is the.
Good to be here.
What's your title nowadays? Because
I am
defensive.
I am the assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, whatever title they give me.
Whatever they.
I
Yeah.
roll with it. Those are my main titles.
All right.
And then
That's what I
just
wanted to run
steal
with.
other ones.
Nice. For the Spokane Shock, correct?
For Spokane Shock, yes.
Anybody
indeed.
watching on YouTube, we are holding up.
See,
That's
Spokane.
why he's on all in orange.
I wore Spokane stuff, and it was between blue and orange, and I thought, well, I'll just wear orange.
That's right. Stand out, man.
Extra shoes.
Stand out. You look good.
So,
Look good. So how's life nowadays? Since we just found out Spokane's not going to back to 2, we're moving forward, correct?
We are still in phase 3, which is surprising because if you would have asked me that Saturday, I was like, oh yeah, we're going back to phase 2. Here we go. But we are, as of recording, we are in phase 3.
Yeah. Let's see. Welcome guest. I did that. How's things in your world besides in general? How's life?
Life is good.
Yeah.
You know, throwing things at me again. Life is
Again,
good.
that just began. Just remember that.
Life is good. You know, it's getting close to football finally.
Finally, a
It's
year.
been a long time coming.
I've been waiting. I've gone to a couple games. I enjoyed them quite immensely. I'm hoping to be able to go to. Yeah.
Only a couple.
Okay, maybe a few more
I
than
was gonna say.
that. Even Ryan's been a season ticket holder. Anybody that's off. Oh yeah, we've enjoyed a few, as you can tell by some of the surroundings. We won't go into that. So, anything else you want to share with us? Let's see. Are you guys are the coaching staff getting together right now, going through stuff?
I mean, really, right now, yeah, I have been preparing for our first game. Seems like for months, and then when the first game changes,
Right.
you know, we had.
That's right.
We were starting against one. Then the schedule, we're starting. So I mean, I've been preparing for the first game now. It seems like for months.
Not right.
You know, but it's a lot of recruiting. You know, getting players signed. It's a lot of
Behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, it's just so much put together. But you know, we've got a great staff, and you know, Billy, you know, head coach. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Billy. Hey, thanks. We'll get you on
You know,
when you're available.
you know, he's one of the best. You know, he is the best head coach in indoor football. So, you know, we have a lot of fun, and but we get a lot of work done too.
So we'll get back into that, but we're going to go back to your background. We're going to touch on that because you and Billy have worked together for a while now, correct?
Yeah, the ironic thing to the
How
whole
ironic
Billy
is-
story is
See, we'll get Coach back on.
when Billy was head coach for Cincinnati Commandos. I was head coach for Northern Kentucky River. I started off as offensive coordinator and then became head coach.
Okay.
So we were literally across the bridge from each other in two different leagues, but we kind of had a rivalry going. And it was ironic because then I had coached before that. I had coached at Marion. It was in the league Billy's first year at Cincinnati, and we were all conditioned to hate him
Why is that?
because he's cocky and arrogant. and all
Yeah, I can see that.
And so, and they were just beating the bejeebus out of everybody. And
Right.
so it was that conditioning, and it was funny because, him and I would talk every so often. We got along and talked, and I went to Tri-Cities.
Do you remember what year that was? That was the
Would have been the last year Tri-Cities was there, which I want to say was 2016.
something like that.
Yeah, because, it was.
I went down there.
And
Watched the game down there.
I was actually leaving, and that was one of the worst decisions I ever made to go there, by the way, because actually Billy had called me like 2 days after I signed my contract and offered me to come to Texas.
Okay.
So actually, when I left Tri-Cities, I was in Idaho, and he called me and he said, "Hey, you want to come down to Texas for the, help me with the playoff run?" And so I literally took a right turn in Idaho and went all the way to Texas,
Wow.
and really didn't plan on being there very long, and ended up now.
And that was for
Me
playoffs that
and
year?
him have been together now since then.
Wow. So several years you worked together.
So we went to Carolina, I won a championship there.
Correct.
And now we're here. But we're like family anyway. So it works out.
I get that. Ryan and I, we have history, way too much. But so let's step back. Give us a little background on yourself. You married, divorced, kids.
I've got 2 stepkids. I've got a 9-year-old grandson.
Awesome.
I am single, which is good.
Makes it easier
makes
for this.
makes life easier sometimes. So it allows me to do this and not have to worry about anything.
So, how did you get into coaching? Here's the story. Ready? Line it up.
So ironically, what's funny is I started out high school coaching at a young age and really developed in Ohio.
Where are you from?
I was born in Pennsylvania, but I've lived in Ohio most of my life.
Okay.
So I started high school coaching in Ohio and had a lot of success. And then there was an indoor team called the Marion Mayhem, and then they became the Blue Racers. And I started coaching professionally, and my first year coaching professionally, I was making $100 a week and spending about $300 to do it. And
Been there, done that.
so
Not
then
coaching, though.
went to Northern Kentucky and did some other places. Then I started coaching with the Iowa Barnstormers in the IFL, and that was actually I've always been an offensive guy, so that was the first time I'd ever been a defensive coordinator.
Okay. Wow.
So I've been a little bit of everything. I've been a head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I've done a little bit of everything, and it makes it fun.
So you know Amir?
Yeah.
It's a small
Amir-
one. Hi, Amir.
Amir was actually with us for a short time in Carolina in 2019 when I was
Really?
when I had moved. Our first year in Carolina, I was vice president and also defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. Second year, decided to just do the vice president thing. Big mistake. But Amir had actually come in for a while before he got the college job. But I've known Amir for years,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he's great.
Coach Amir, heads it out to you. Next. I should have taken notes, huh? So, did you go to college? You said no, but you're going to college now.
Yeah, well, I did go to college. I went to Ohio State.
What were you taking?
Ironically, I was taking psychology, and I was like, "What am I doing?" I started working for America Online back in the day,
Wow.
and they got me involved in all this IT training. So I ended up working for a law enforcement company in Florida that had contracts with law enforcement in Ohio.
Okay, that you
So,
from here to there. So okay.
I did 15 years of
Wow.
dealing with computers, law enforcement, and that also allowed me, because I was working out of home, and also allowed me to coach and everything else.
Oh, okay.
So, but then about a year and a half ago, there's been a lot of opportunities that I could have taken if I would have had a sports management degree or something like that. So I decided to go back to school, and that's what I'm doing now.
Okay. So it's never too late.
Never too late.
So you do online? Is that
Yeah.
how that works?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm not college educated. Brian's not.
No.
My partner's not college educated. So,
I've become college educated to where now it used to be people would write stuff and I would read it, and now people write stuff and I read it and I can find all the errors. It's
so if you learn how to read,
yeah, I've learned how to read, and I've also learned how to spell check and grammar and everything else. It makes me nervous sometimes, but it's okay.
Do you correct your kids?
No, because I have come to the conclusion they're old enough at this point. That's a lost cause. I just let it go.
So if they see this,
They already know. They already know. I'm not. They are at an age now where I just let it go.
just love you. Good luck.
Yeah, they
Your problem now.
roll with it. Now my grandson, I do still. He's 9. I still
Okay. What's your grandson's name?
Adam.
Adam. Heads up, Adam. So when you got in coaching, did you have somebody that inspired you that you kind of went, whoa, or what got you there?
So this being that we're in Spokane, this will be a great thing. There wasn't a lot of people that inspired me until 2003. 1998. I spent a week at University of Kentucky with Hal Mummy and Mike Leach.
Wow.
2003. I spent 3 weeks at Texas Tech learning, and basically started out talking to all the coaches, and Mike Leach came to dinner with all the coaches one night, and he said, well, hey, we're done dinner, what are you doing? I'm like, let's go back to the office.
Wow.
And we
Just
got
you
in the
in particular?
office. We got back to the office, he pulled out 2 glasses, a glass of whiskey, and said, all right, what do you want to know?
Wow.
So,
Were you asking him questions at the dinner?
not a lot,
What?
but we got back, and so I learned his offense completely, so that's what I ended up taking back to Ohio, and that's where things kind of skyrocketed, because learning his offense, and then I've learned things throughout the years, but I mean just his approach to offense, his approach to building programs. When he took over Texas Tech was not a great program. Turned it into a program, and even with Washington State, Washington State had struggled. He came here, and so those were kind of things that I learned. So then when I was coaching high school and everywhere, been just that ability to be able to take something and change it. And then from a professional standpoint, with Billy, Billy does the same thing. Billy, it seems like we've started more organizations than we've walked in and already made one. So, he is so great not only with recruiting, but he's just great at understanding, what it takes, what it does. And so, when you have those things and you understand that, then you're able to come in and hit the ground running rather than trying to tiptoe through it. So.
Right. Wow. So what other training did you have to get into coaching besides Mike Leach give you the basics and then you?
I played in high school, but it was funny because I was a good football player, but I was a better baseball player. And then when I tore up my knee my senior year of high school,
typical
it
injury,
was
high
funny.
school injury.
I got so involved in the intricacies of football and just learning all the little things, and that just became fun to me, and it still is to this day. I don't.
Now, me being weird, not to interrupt, but me being weird, the psychology, you're seeing how things work and you're seeing how people work. Does the psychology work?
Yeah, it really does. I've always prided myself to try to get into the heads of other coaches,
good or bad.
And I try, so a lot of times I try to be, a couple steps ahead. I try to think about what they're thinking about, what would they do. It's just those things, and sometimes it works. And there are days it doesn't, and you got to adjust. But it happens.
Live and learn. So you went to college for computer stuff? Is that what it was?
I went actually for psychology, and then when I went to America Online,
Then you went to cops. I'm trying to figure out how that worked.
Yeah, then when I went to work in America Online, they actually put me through all kind of IT.
Okay, they did the training.
So they were the ones that kind of got me and I loved, and I've built phone apps, I've done all that stuff, and I loved it until I got burned out with it, and then it just,
Well, you did that for years.
yeah, and then, I got to do, I get to do football 24/7, so, I mean,
It's not like you like it at all.
oh, I love football, but,
That was a joke.
As far as,
Come on, Brian. That was
as far as the IT stuff, I'm
No,
usually
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what, let somebody else do that.
right. No. You're obviously you enjoy. You've been doing it and get to go back into it. And you get to teach guys.
It's a lot of fun, so.
Obstacles that these are my basic cards. Want to read how I was cracking my handwriting in? You're talking about bad hand. I can read it. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters with bad handwriting. As long as you can read it, it's good.
Huh?
Not always can you read it.
Mine I can. I can always read. You can't read it. What obstacles to get into school? So you went from high school, graduated high school. Did you have it at that point? Did you go the next year to college? What was your transition from high school to college?
It was about a year and a half after I graduated high school, and I went to college. And I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was just like if I could have gone back and known what I've known now, I would have definitely done sports management.
Oh, sure.
But it was one of those things where it was like I was like, oh, I'll just take psychology. This will be great. And I got about almost a year into it. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And I had gotten a job at America Online, and it just made it simple. It was like, you know what, they're going to pay for me to have all this training.
There you go. That makes
So,
sense.
Made it easy.
So you got out after a year.
Yeah.
So when you went to college, these are just basic questions for anybody that's watching, listening. Did you have financial situation get into that? Because you were a year and a half after high school. It's not like so you were. I just want listeners to know we're trying to give information. On how
Yeah, a
somebody
lot
did
of
what
that
they did.
is, obviously you can get a lot of grants, student loans, things like that.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing for me was, since I wasn't going to get a scholarship to play baseball because my knee was tore up. And it's funny, the same knee surgery now is 6 months
Recovery.
4 to 6 months recovery. The same knee surgery in 1990 was about a year to get it to about 70 to 80%. Wow. So it's funny just
Crazy
how
how
time does. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of financial aid available and stuff like that. So it made it good.
Did you have your family support going to college? Mom, dad, whoever?
Did I have a favorite sport?
No. Did you have your family support?
Oh,
Sorry,
family
as I
support.
muddled
I was like,
through.
wait, yeah.
Family support, right?
Yeah, family support. Yeah, my mom and dad were very supportive.
Your brothers and sisters.
No.
You're an only kid?
Yes.
Oh, so they had to support you, kind of, right? Either kick you in the butt or
Yeah,
kick you out.
they had no choice. They had to be there every game. So, it was usually pretty funny because it was always like, hey, they changed the time of the baseball game today. It's at 2:00. When you're at work, and they're like, it was.
Yeah, that's funny. Are your parents still around?
Yeah.
So they ever make it to a Spokane game? Do you think?
Doubtful,
Okay.
but
Okay.
hopefully,
Yeah.
over the next year or two, as there's some teams, obviously Columbus War Dogs are right downtown Columbus, so hopefully when they're in the league next year, we can go there and
There you
play.
go.
And
Nice. There you go. So what would you say when you're in college? What's the worst thing you did, or worst part of college? What was the best thing? Just in case, you're only here for a year and a half, so it's not like the time frame.
I mean, the worst part of it was I hate essays, which I still do to this day.
Essays.
Yes.
What's an essay? I'm not a college educated guy.
When you got to write a 6 to 9 page paper.
Oh, geez, Louise.
And so when I do that now, it's kind of funny because I've gotten used to it again, so I do it. But it's kind of funny how if it's a 6, if you need to get to 6 pages, I can get to 5.5 easy. And then at that point, I'm
Just
stuck.
try.
Stuck every time. If it's a 9 page paper, 8.5. And then and then I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh man, if I turn this in, are they going to get mad? And they usually don't. But it's funny because I can never, if it's a 6 page paper, I can never get to 6 or above. It's 5.5 every time. So it's like, oh well.
We all have our.
But I think I think the best part, even now, I enjoy.
Yeah, you're in college now. I was just going back.
I enjoy I just enjoy learning different things. Although I will say this: do not take applied statistics ever in your life. If you have to take applied statistics, run away. Run.
I don't even know what that is. Something to do with
it's
statistics.
It's like the seventh sector of hell. To be honest, it's horrible. It's bad. So I stay away from it.
So you don't have to take that?
I already did. I developed a twitch because of it. That's all right.
Ah, well, that was a good one, finally.
That was good.
Thank you. I do that to every show, and usually they suck like that one down there. So you processed from college, got a year and a half, that when you went AOL, they paid, trained.
Yep.
That's an easy question, thank you. Almost got you. So how long were you at AOL? 15 years?
No, I was with AOL for about 3 years. Then I started with a company out of Florida that had contracts with all the different states for law enforcement. So it was great. I will honestly say, outside of coaching, it was the greatest job I ever had because I worked out of my house.
Yeah.
I got paid a salary for some weeks I might work 40 hours, some weeks I might work 10.
Wow.
Some weeks I might work 60 hours.
Right.
But, you know,
pay.
I traveled all over the state of Ohio. I would be anywhere from police department, sheriff, highway patrol, every FBI, federal prison. But I could go 2 or 3 weeks and sit at home and nothing ever go wrong. But I was paid for when everything got bad. I was the one that had to fix it. So that was interesting.
Did you deal with the stress with that?
Some days.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some days where, you know, I lived in Columbus, which is in the middle of the state. I'd get a phone call and have to go to Cleveland, then get another phone call and have to go all the way to the other side of the state.
Wow.
So there were some days it was hectic, but you dealt with it.
Yeah. So we're getting back into coaching now. What's it like hour-wise? What are your tasks these days? Granted, I know they're going to change when the season hits, or once you guys actually camp starts, which is a couple weeks away. I buy this. This is coming out. Should be coming out a week or two before the season starts. That's our plan. So we're recording this in advance.
Yeah.
So everybody knows. So if you're watching this, but your task before camp starts, task during camp, and then when the season starts, do they change majorly at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say majorly, but you know, right now it's a lot of evaluating your players, getting them ready. You know, making sure you've got your playbook ready. I'm also, you know, getting ready for our first game. So there's a lot of evaluating going on.
When is your first game? But it's not a home game, is it?
Yes.
Okay,
It is a home game.
So May 15th.
May 15th.
See, I have that locked in. I'll be there. I think I'll show up to that game.
Probably will.
Yeah, I'll show up. Just because, you know, didn't you invite me? I wasn't going to go other
Well,
than
you can come if you want.
Okay, thanks.
Bring you something to drink though.
You got it. Now that's so easy. I can't. You before or after the game is what you. Let me clarify that
During?
question, huh?
During?
Okay.
All
right.
right. No. So before the season, it's just a lot of evaluating, a lot of getting ready.
So evaluating.
Right
I don't know. I've never
evaluating play. You know, so much
watching
it's,
film or
yeah, film. We get player film. Players trying to get signed. We get so much of that every day. So you're always going through it. You know, talking to the players you've got signed, making sure everybody's good. Like I think today, I've probably talked to. Between yesterday and today, I've talked to every single one of my defensive players that are signed. You know, just checking in, make sure everything's good.
Right.
Talk about COVID, you know, all that good stuff.
right.
You know, I'm getting, you know, some game plans ready for Frisco because I don't know a lot about them because their coach was in another league, but he was in the IFL years ago. So I'm comparing the two, and you just do all that, and then, you know, once training camp hits.
Which would be right now, technically.
You know, fast forward. Then I mean, it's a grind. We will put in legitimately 18 hours a day.
Wow.
Because you're going to practice,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to watch film with the players. You know, then you're going to sit down as a staff and you're going to talk about, okay, hey, do we need to release this guy? You know, who's this? So I mean, it's legitimately an 18-hour grind. I mean, I for the 10 days of our camp, more than 10 days, but for pretty much 10 days of camp, I sleep a few hours.
Right. Wow.
So it gets pretty long.
So
Once you get through camp, and once you get to the season, you know, it becomes so routine. You just, you don't know, and that's the thing with me is I'm during the season, especially, I'm so routine oriented
I like routine.
that I don't notice, if I don't notice, much of anything outside of, what is today? Today is Sunday. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
do
doing
it.
this on Sunday.
Right.
I'm doing this on Monday. So.
Right. What do you dislike about being a coach these days, and what do you love about being a coach these days? And how do you make the bad better?
Oh, I think I love just really everything about it. I love the players. I love the fans. I love the strategy. I think that's one thing about the IFL.
I know you've heard stories about Spokane fans. Have you been here before?
Yes.
With the opposing team.
Yes.
So you're aware that the fans that usually go are kind of passionate, like you are.
Yes. So that was one of the draws of coming here.
I caught that Coach Back was at a situation not too long ago that actually said that's a major factor of Spokane.
Yeah, that was, one of the things that when we were talking about coming here, one of the things we talked about was the fan base, and that was a big deal for us.
Obviously, that's what he made apparent, and I was
Yeah.
pleasant. I think I kind of knew that and heard that, and that's very nice to hear
Yeah.
about Spokane. After the fans harass.
Yes.
I'm not notorious. I mean, one guy is not notorious. He just likes to cheer the team on. But there's a group of that are obnoxious. We know how to make noise.
Oh, definitely, and that's one thing when I've come here is, it was always noisy. So, that's that was one of the big reasons for coming here. So I love all that. I love the strategy. I love winning. Obviously,
Who doesn't?
I'm not a big fan of losing. And probably the thing I hate the most about football, I hate to lose.
Yeah.
I don't take losing well. And none of us that are involved in this really do. But I just don't take losing well.
Do you end up throwing things?
No.
Okay, you just
Not really
internally.
throwing. I'm just
All right, I'm just clarifying if I'm there at a game and
a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
walk away,
times.
I'll be calm and cool and just walk.
A lot of times, Billy knows this. A lot of times, I'm, I can be grumpy anyway. So if we lose, I'm just grumpier. So it's all right.
It's part of life. So the question I have at this point if you're in the middle of a game and something's going, you guys, if the team's losing, you've done this before. How much of strategy can you change at that point? Because if you
Depending on the situation,
I've
a lot
never
of times it's more of a minor change that you've got to do.
Okay.
But a lot of times, with me, I usually have a plan A, plan B, plan C. If I've gotten to B, we're in trouble.
see, you say, I'm just thinking, okay, we're going to do this, and we have to do a little bit of this, but
Yeah, a lot of it is.
I've never coached, so I'm
This
learning.
is what we expect. This is what we're going to do. Now, if they do something a little bit different, okay, then we've got to adjust this. It's. I don't say it's simple, but a lot of times it's just trying to be a step ahead.
Obviously,
But
that makes sense.
I've had games where I'm 3 steps ahead of everybody, and I've had games where I'm 3 steps behind on everything, and that's why we always have a inside joke with me and Billy. I always tell them before the game, hey, you score 60, I'll hold them to 59, and we'll walk out of here.
There you
Full well knowing we're going to lose our minds if it's 60 to 59. We've been there a few times, but
yeah.
it's just understanding, your players. It's key. The biggest thing is really just a lot of times keeping your players calm. They're the ones that start, kind of losing, and sometimes it's like, listen, here's what the situation is. Here's what we got to do. I'm kind of considered a think tank guy, so I'm more of the guy that, I'm gonna find a way to do something. I'm not the real yell, scream, rah rah guy.
Right.
That's not me.
Right. You're already
If I'm
figuring-
yelling,
There's problems.
There's a problem.
If I go to a game and I watch, I'm running away.
Yeah. So, so that's just pretty much it. But with my players, a lot of times it's just making adjustments, and it's great because we've got players that have been with me for a long time.
Yeah, we've interviewed. I had Walter Thomas on.
Yes.
I think this will probably be a week before yours, and you've worked with him for a while. And there's a core group of guys. Seems that, from what I understand, I'm not really into this. I go to a couple games here and there. So once again, I'm full of shit. You'll have to edit that one, won't I? Thanks, Ryan. that you guys. So you won a couple championships. Am I correct?
Yes.
And a lot of those guys were on the same team.
Yeah, you know.
And was the coach back there too?
Coach back was
I was just
2018.
trying to lead him. Trying to lead him.
Walt, Chuck, all those guys were with Billy when he was in Nashville.
Okay.
So, you know, like with Walt, I mean, Walt's been with us for years.
Yes.
You know, Walt was with Billy before he was with me. Mike Green has been with me and Billy since we were in Wichita Falls. And he's kind of my quarterback of the defense. Chuck has been with Billy and then us since.
So let's clarify. Chuck is.
Charles McCollum, our quarterback.
There you go. Thank you. I didn't know who Chuck was until you just said that.
Yeah,
I've heard of Charles McCollum.
He is our quarterback.
He does okay.
Best
I've heard
quarterback in the IFL.
Yeah, I guess he does all right. I haven't met him officially.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Heard he does pretty good.
So I mean, a lot of these core guys have been with us everywhere we've gone. So it makes it easier because
You think?
they just, you know, I mean, and I great examples, Mike Green with me because of the defense side. You know,
What's
Mike Green is
what position is Mike?
he is DB, and
Okay.
Mike Green is my other coach on the field,
There you
so
go.
to speak.
Yep.
He's, you know, he can get into all my checks. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows, you know, where it's nothing for him. In 2018, I'd be watching film and stuff at 2 a.m. and all of a sudden my phone go off and I'd be like, all right, it's going to be one of two people. It's going to be Chuck or it's going to be, or I'm sorry, it's going to be Mike or it's going to be Billy. A lot of times it'd be Mike, and he'd say, hey, did you see on film when they did this? Like, yeah. So we have that kind of connection where
That's awesome.
we can talk it. So, you know, but we've got a lot of great talent this year. I mean, just not only our guys that have been with us, but we got some younger guys that are great. So.
I have a couple friends that are Shock fans, and they're into that stuff more than I'm not. I don't pay attention to the who's signed. You see who they signed this week? No, but they say, oh my goodness, he's from so and so and blah blah blah. And it's like, hey, that's what we're after.
Yeah, we've got a lot of great talent. I mean, it's funny. I didn't think it was possible for us to get more talented than we were at the end of camp last year before COVID. But we're actually more talented this year. So
It's crazy. So, next question is time in the field or time in the office? I guess time in the field would be either, I don't know, practice or games, and then time in the office is dealing with what do you prefer?
I'll definitely be on the field. Definitely be on the field.
You know, I didn't want to answer that. Everybody, once again, I'll answer this one. Everybody answer the same question that way. Say time in the office, out in the field, whether like outdoors or sales people or.
When I'm on the when I'm in the office, I'm a creature of habit. So
Yep.
when I'm trying to get stuff done and people continually are like interrupting me, it makes me crazy. And, you know, that's when I turn into grumpy and
Or
stuff.
grumpier. Just grumpy
Grumpier.
at that time.
So
caught that right.
I much prefer to be on field because there it's just different feeling.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
that's why, a lot of times, I tell people I get more done when I'm at home, and sometimes I get more done at home between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
because nobody's bothering me.
I understand that. Hopefully they're asleep when. There's times I can't sleep, but.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest misconception of being a coach in the IFL these days? What would you think?
I think that a lot of
And how do you change it?
a lot of people think that what we do is easy and it's fun all the time. It's
work.
It is work. It is. Listen. I mean, bottom line is this: my job is dependent upon wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, any coach in the IFL. I mean, if you're losing, you may not have a job for long. So,
right.
That's a lot of it. There's a lot of stress to that a lot of people don't realize that it's.
Yeah, I mean, you've personally been around in the indoor arena or indoor arena football for several years now, so you're aware. You know other coaches.
Oh yeah,
You've seen how things work.
It is what it is. That's why I've looked at it. Especially in the last 5 or 6 years. I look at it. Listen, it comes down to wins and losses. It really comes down to. You can.
And you've done all right.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. You know, I've got some championship rings, so all good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple nice ones.
How about money and income? 401 benefits in it. It's a generic. I don't even know. You don't have to go into specifics, but I don't know how with the COVID thing worked for you, coaching and players and stuff. Was there unemployment? Was there?
I mean, it was definitely interesting, but we, you know, a lot of it, I mean, you know, we're taken care of.
Okay.
It's just COVID was weird because nobody knew what to do.
Yeah.
When it first
I
6 months.
I don't know if they still know what to do.
You know, because on one hand, you know, when I remember when we broke camp and they said that the season was being delayed, it was talked about, oh, it'll be 14 days.
Right.
14 days turned into here we still are.
Yeah, over a year.
So it got crazy, but you know, we've done well. We've been taken care of. But I you know, the hardest part is, you know, for the players who, you know, were working in the off season and then come here and then there's no season.
Yeah,
and now they got to go back so I think it was harder for them than it was for me. I mean, it was hard for me. Don't get me wrong, especially being 2,500 miles away from
Family,
my family and
friends.
everything. But there was a lot to it. So I think that, you know, I think that's what makes us happy about the fact that we're
Get ready to go.
very close to getting ready to go. By the time people watch this, we'll be going.
Yeah. Well, you'll be in camp. This, like I said, be a week or two before the actual first home game. So, I'm excited. I get off track when we had Walter on the show. I actually talked more about just football in general. I try to get on, so even this I'm trying to keep on track. Gotta look at my cards.
Walt was wearing his gold chain, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah.
I knew he would. I love Walt.
He's a great guy. Great guy. I got to meet him before. That's why I asked him on the show. So, how many jobs? You see, we're talking more football. Am I getting off track a little bit? Don't I get a little more excited? Am I on track? Trying to behave myself. I'm doing better than I was. I just enjoy. I love football.
You haven't completely gone off the rails yet. So that's
No, I will not do that. I've done this enough. To get excited after the year, looking forward to last year because the Shock had been gone for 4 or 5 years last year. Because they had to rebrand because of the name thing, went to the Empire, and that was 2 years, and we didn't have a team for 2 years. Then the Shock was announced, which I'd heard about, and then the COVID. So here we are 5 years later. So I'm excited.
I feel like it's been 5 years since I last
Right?
coached.
Right? Oh my god! Yeah, I bet.
It feels like it.
But you're that right.
It's like right there, and I'm just saying.
Are you guys? I'm sorry.
If anything gets taken away from me from coaching, I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
y'all are going to hear me on the news.
Good or bad?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's
okay.
going to be on the news.
Hopefully there's no. Never mind. I'm saying that. Are you guys going to be practicing this? Once again, you'll be practicing while this goes out because it comes out on Thursdays. Over in Post Falls.
We'll be in Post Falls, and then we'll be at the arena.
Okay. Because I happened to go last. You guys had some tryouts last December.
Yeah, we had a tryout in December. That
Yeah.
was interesting. That was fun. Tryouts are fun.
Yeah, you guys had a group. I knew some of the players. I happened to stop by, and it was nice to see guys out. It was just a taste of what was
Yeah,
coming.
it really, for us, it was a good tryout. I am the most anti-tryout person at this point of my life, so it was a really good tryout.
Good.
For me to say that, because normally I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you sound. Yeah. Why do you hate them? Typically,
the return
yeah.
you get for the time
spent.
and put into it usually does not equate anymore. It used to be back 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, it used to be you did a tryout, you had 120 people come. Now I've been to tryouts where we've had 12 people.
Wow.
So to have that turnout, which was like 40 some people,
Yeah.
that turnout, it was really good. Because normally I've just gotten to the point where tryouts and me, I'm just like, oh, I'd rather do something else.
Right.
So,
Oh. Looked like a good bunch of people.
yeah,
guys
it was
there
good.
trying
I was really happy with it.
Nice. Wow. That's a good thing to hear about Spokane. And so let's go real quick. How many jobs have you had? Because coaching is basically one job, but how many different how do I ask this question? You went from college, you went to AOL, you went to the computer at-home thing working for police. So there's two. But you were doing coaching during that time.
Yeah, I've been coaching at time. So
Wow.
I would say 1, 2, 3, 4,
How many?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Close enough.
I'm going to say roughly about 12 or 13.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of guests that only had like 2 or 3, and it's like, how did you do that? But then again, that's what they did. What advice? Big question. What advice would you give somebody younger that wanted to become a coach?
I think the biggest thing is learn everything about the game. The one thing that I've told younger people is, shut your mouth, open your ears, and just listen. The biggest thing when I started is, my first high school job was with a Hall of Fame high school coach in Ohio. I spent more time just listening to him talk to other people because the knowledge that I was getting was,
Priceless.
just, wow, this guy has won, 500 games or whatever it was. This guy's won so many games as a high school coach. This guy's won championships. There's nothing this guy can say that I shouldn't be listening to. And, and I remember...
Shut up and listen.
Huh?
Shut up and listen. That's what I need to do.
A lot of times that was the biggest thing. And, I just remember when he let me, he was like, listen, I want you to be the head coach of the 8th grade team. And it's like my first coaching job. And I'm out there running some of his stuff. But I'm running all my stuff that I've drawn up and all this stuff. And, we're having success. And I just remember him one time I was walking in the office and going, your job is to get these guys ready for me, not to do all that. And it was like 100% totally understood that. So, that's the things you learn as a young coach, and that's the biggest thing is sometimes you got to realize, it's not what you want to do, it's what, what you're learning. And so when I became a high school offensive coordinator and head coach, I was able to help, younger coaches understand.
Yeah.
It's not about what you think it's shut up and listen and learn more. And the more you shut up and listen, the more you learn, the better off you are.
Yeah, that's in life in general.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't do it.
I agree. I've always was taught to listen to the elders and learn. 'Cause you never know what you're going to learn. 'Cause they
Yeah,
can
and
teach
I
stuff.
still listen. I've been coaching a lot of years, and I still learn things all the time.
Hopefully.
I get, from NFL coaches in the CFL, college coaches, high school coaches. There's always something you can pick up. Indoor coaches, there's always something.
Always. So we're getting close to near the end of the interview, but so big question: when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a professional baseball player.
Most guys will have to sit there and wonder. Most of my guess. But
No, I was. I was dead.
Who got you
set.
interested in baseball?
I think it was me. I started playing at a young age. I was really good at it. I got better as I got older. I was a freshman in high school, starting varsity, which was rare.
Yeah, that's.
The ironic thing about it is, as a freshman, the guy hitting in front of me was Mike Matheny, who, if everybody was the manager with St. Louis Cardinals, played in
I'm not a baseball guy.
So that was kind of ironic, but it was something I just was really good at. I tried to play basketball in about 8th grade. I was like, no, basketball's not for me.
Yep.
I loved football. I played football all the way through, but baseball was my money sport. That was the one that I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to go.
Wow. What position?
I played first base. I played third base. My younger days, I also played some catcher. I did a little bit of pitching, but I was in the lineup because I could hit 500 and drive the ball over the field. So that was my thing.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was really fortunate. My parents sent me to 3 years straight. Sent me to a hitting school at Oklahoma State.
No wonder. Okay.
And
that helps.
I went from being a good hitter to a really good hitter just because I sponged everything that I learned from that. I was the guy in high school that I wasn't the best athlete, but I was the one that figured out how to make things happen.
See, it reminds me of Richard Sherman, formerly of the Seahawks. It's like, I'm not fastest. I'm not the best, this, that. I just watch and learn.
Yeah, and that's, really, I mean, a lot of players, and that's the biggest thing, is the more you watch and learn and you learn the little things, the better you'll be. So, but guys that are really athletic, sometimes they kind of forget that.
Right, because they think it's all them.
Yeah.
There's more to it than them.
It's when you're athletic, you can get away with a lot of things, but eventually, that athleticism, you're going to lose a step.
It
So
happens.
you better be able to mentally
Right.
figure it out.
Compensate for it.
And that's one thing, like Richard Sherman and a lot of those guys, they're not the best athlete, but they have figured out how to take that 45-degree step, how to do the little things, and that's why they're successful.
So, Coach, what else would you give information to either Shock fans, what to look forward to this season, now that we're there?
It
We're
is
right
going to be a lot of fun. And one thing I will say to all the fans is, definitely get out and buy tickets and come to the game. I mean, listen, we've all been closed up for the last year.
This might be a good thing to get the Spokane Shock fans and new Spokane
Yeah,
fans.
I mean,
Shock. It's been gone for 5 years. Spokane Shock.
Even if you're not the biggest, and this is another thing too, is and I tell people this everywhere I've been, even if you're not a football fan, a lot of people that aren't really football fans, they enjoy indoor football because it's a different kind of football. It's faster paced. It's more just everything is more exciting.
I agree.
So that's one thing. There are a lot of people that I have met over the years that they are not big outdoor football fans, but they will come to arena and indoor football games because it's different.
Right.
So that's the one thing I always tell people. Listen,
check it out.
Check it
Give
out.
a game.
Go to a game, and a lot of times, it's not just the game. It's everything that's
The
going
atmosphere.
around the game.
I agree.
It's the atmosphere.
I remember. Can I tell my quick story?
Yeah.
I had never been to an arena game until the Spokane Shock had announced. I had a friend come to me and say, "Hey, there's season tickets, or blah blah blah." I'd never been to a game, an outdoor game I'd been to, and long story short, went to the first Spokane Shock home game of 2006, and I went, "Oh my effing God!"
Yeah.
Walked out of there. I was on the phone. My mom and I are Seahawks fans. We go to games. We've gone to games, and I called her. I go, "We're going. You got to check. Oh my God, you can't."
Yeah, it's
Goosebumps. It was just that much fun.
is.
I'm a football guy, but and I'm not into it all the player stats and all that stuff, but just the energy and excitement of the game was
it's
crazy.
the energy. It's the energy. It's that. It's a whole different feeling, and it doesn't really ever go away. It's like
I just got goosebumps.
It's like a lot of times indoor arena football. The energy stays with you from really the time game starts until it ends. And
I've enjoyed a few.
I get to a point where
Enhancing.
with me I get before the game I just get so excited for it, and it never goes away. It's like I thought the longer that I did this I'd get to a point where it's
jaded.
You just and now it's just a point. It's like I almost embrace the excitement. It's like before the game I get the butterflies and I get that feeling.
Nice.
And it's like, man, this
That's awesome.
is fun, and that's what we tell everybody, our players, everybody's, all the work you put in is for that feeling, and so now I've gotten to the point I just embrace it, I enjoy it, so I don't. I used to think, why am I like all nervous and all like, and it's like, well, yeah, because you're excited about it.
That is.
So
I've performed. I'm a musician, and I've done it for years, and I've done stuff, and I got to the point where I wasn't nervous. I was excited just to be on stage, though, to perform.
yeah.
So I think along the same lines.
I have so much fun. Again with COVID, I don't know what the seating, how they're
Right.
going to do it, but I always have so much fun whether I'm home or away with the fans that are sitting by the boards. I mean, when I was in Carolina, I mean, it got to the point where I almost knew everybody was sitting on boards by first name. I just knew who they were, and
That's cool.
the kids
Oh,
sitting
hell
there
yeah.
going, it was just everything.
Yeah.
And you just get excited about it and being around them. you know, and when you're on the road, it's different. But we've always, had a way of kind of turning road crowds into
Fans.
us, just because
You deal with them
our-
a certain way. Some guys I've seen at games how some coaches get pissed off at the Spokane fans just because some of them are very obnoxious. It's like, come on, it's a game, first of all, coach.
Well,
But-
I mean, a lot of times it's if you're going to let them get to you,
Yes.
you've already
Lost.
lost.
Right.
A lot of times with me, it's more, I talk to them and I'll joke with them and we'll talk. And our players are real outgoing with the fans, so especially on the road, we've turned more fans into our fans on the road just because our guys are outgoing as a coach, primarily out on the field. It's going to be me or Billy.
Right.
But just kind of
You have
our
experience
attitude
with it
toward
though too,
We
so
just
you know
kinda-
how to deal with this
Yeah,
stuff.
and,
Have fun with it.
and I've been called every name in the book, and okay.
And now, trust me, Ryan. He calls me worse than my.
Yeah, I've been called a little bit of everything, so I don't get too upset about it.
Right.
It is what it is.
I'm hoping to be able to go to an away game. I'm looking at. I haven't checked it.
Away games are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's funny, ironically, but a lot of coaches will say this is a lot of coaches sometimes prefer coaching at away games more than they coach at home.
Why would that be?
It's at home. There's a little bit more of a feeling of pressure.
Right.
You want everything to go great for your home fans. And I hate when you have home games, win or lose, that it's just ugly.
Mm.
You hate that for your fan base.
Yeah.
When you go on the road, it doesn't matter as long as we win.
Right.
It doesn't matter. But when you're at home,
There you go.
you want everything to be really pretty. You want to win. You want everything to be great. And sometimes it don't work that way.
Right, okay. See, as a fan, it's just I've seen games where as long as there's that W at the end,
Yeah.
how ugly it gets.
But the one thing too about that is it's more of the fan that's seeing it for the first time. My
Yes,
first thought
okay.
is, okay, that fan seeing it first time and they just came here and saw something ugly. It's like, oh man, But
if the end comes in, even if it's a score last minute or in the last minute, how many points can you score?
we've had exciting games. I've been in so many different kind of games, and the blowouts are all great, but when you get too many of those, you
Yeah.
kind of get bored.
No, I agree.
So I like the different variety, but I like
Sure.
the home games to be played well, so that way we win. But the fan base saw a good game. They're happy. They're going, "Oh man, this is great." Rather than when you get one of those games that's just dog ugly.
Right,
Right. So it's
Yeah.
all right.
Could be worse.
As long as we win.
See, I agree. Ryan, you have any questions for the coach?
So, do you have a contract then?
Yes.
Is it like so many years or?
We've
As long as
done.
you're winning,
We do
you're
2 and 3 year.
secure.
We do 1 year contracts, 2 and 3 year contracts. The player contracts are usually for a year. Coaches will do 2 and 3 year contracts. So it just kind of depends on the situation. I have done different contracts. Like my contract here, was a 2 year contract.
With COVID, does that mean that we have 1 year now?
Maybe,
What's the
maybe
tip?
not. I don't know. I think pretty sure that I just bounced everything. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hope. After the winning season, I'm going. All right, I'm being positive. Hopefully, we're gonna have a winning season.
Oh, we're gonna win. It's not. That's not even a question. It's gonna be a great year. It is really gonna be a great year.
I'm looking. One reason why I wanted you on the show is just to talk about because I don't. I was excited last year, but I'm bouncy. I'm getting.
There's so many good teams in the IFL. So many good teams.
So the first team once again is
Frisco.
and we don't. I've heard either you or the head coach Billy Back said that they're going to be a rough one, possibly.
It's going to be
the
because
challenge.
we don't. The head coach from Frisco was with the Philadelphia Soul.
Oh, okay.
So
Enough said.
you've got that AFL background, so you don't know what he's going to do in the IFL I've gone back and looked at what he did in the IFL 10 years ago.
Right.
I have a pretty good idea, but you don't really know. So it's going to be rough because you don't really know what's coming.
Right, exactly.
So a lot of it is you try to prepare for what you think is going to happen, but then you have to have the contingency plans.
Sure.
You got to be able to adjust quickly. So that
And they got talented players.
and they've got a
good
great.
team.
I mean, really, there are no bad teams in the IFL. You know, Frisco's good, Arizona, Tucson, Iowa. You know, Bismarck. I mean, everybody has got good players. Massachusetts, you know, good roster. I mean, every team has got good players and stuff. And a lot of times, you know, you hope that your player's a little bit better, and
Sure.
you hope that you
Coach, got a plan better.
You got a better plan,
Right. How many teams are in the IFL as of today?
12.
I thought it was 12.
Yeah.
And as long as things possibly could be adding the next following
Yeah,
year.
like Columbus, Ohio has already been announced. They're coming in next year, and I know there's some other teams in the
Okay.
works, but Columbus has already been announced.
Oh, okay. So,
So,
always
yeah.
building. IFL and the competition was the AFL. They've gone bankrupt and out again.
AFL's gone.
I'm so sad to see that.
The NAL is around, you know, where we were, and that's, you know, primarily it's on the East Coast.
Right.
You know, but really after that, I mean, there's a lot of ABC leagues. But
Yeah, is there some I've never even?
yeah,
Somebody
I
goes,
mean,
"Have you heard of the what?" But
you know, and it's funny because I have people that'll send, you know, game film from some of these leagues, and it's like, I can't believe you're even playing in this. I mean, some of these leagues don't play these players.
Right.
Some of these, you know, there was a game I saw not too long ago that, I mean, it looked like there were 3 different turfs on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, you know, it's like you're just you're watching this thing, and you're just thinking to yourself, somebody's gonna get hurt.
right.
So
Talking
you know,
about turf, can I interrupt real fast? What color is the turf of the Spokane Shock this year?
blue.
Oh, that's right. I already knew the answer, but that's all new. So,
Yeah, brand new turf. We
So we
practiced
don't have
on
where it's not being pieced together. Last year, it was the day of they're going to have the fans come down through the
Yep.
arena to check it all out, is when they announced everything shutting down.
everything shut down.
I got pictures, I saw pictures online, but then it's like, I wanted, yeah.
You know, I will say this for you know, all the fans that have come and get that, it is one of the best turfs I've ever seen. Just
I've seen pictures, it looks great.
it looks great. It feels great. It just everything about it. You know, our owner Sam has, you know, done a first class job on, you know, doing things
From what
like
I've
that.
seen.
So you know, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I
There
really
you go.
wish it would get here.
Oh,
Which by the time you watch this, it'll already be.
it'll be, well, the training camp will be going on right now.
Yeah.
And then you have about a week, probably a week and a half, maybe 2. So I'm trying to hold myself down because it's been years since I've always enjoyed. So thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate it.
Anything else you'd like to add before we?
Go Shock, buy
There.
tickets, come see me.
Yeah, get a hold.
You know, always come and say hi. You know, all that good stuff.
There you go. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. All this stuff I forgot to do last time. I forgot our tagline, by the way, Mr. King. Please like, please subscribe, leave a comment, and remember, it's your life. Make it happen. Till next time. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Go
Thank you.
Shock! Oh, how easy. Pleasant.